A year after losing their father, two brothers began a quiet tradition, meeting before dawn outside their childhood home just to reflect, reconnect, and feel close to the past. One foggy morning, they decided to take a few photos of the old house, each using their phone. But when they looked at the pictures later, something chilling stood out. In multiple shots, on both devices, a dark figure appeared near the house. The gate was locked, the yard empty, and no one else had been there, just the two of them. Their father used to say he wanted his ashes scattered in the yard so he could stay there forever. Maybe he did. To this day, no matter how many times they've tried, they've never been able to recreate the figure or explain it. A man living deep in the Appalachian region had only stepped away from his parked car for a moment, but when he returned, the driver's side window was shattered. Oddly enough, nothing had been stolen. Instead, something had been left behind. A dark, twisted briar root resting neatly on the front seat. Most people would panic about the broken glass, but not him. It was that root that made his stomach drop.
Or shattered window that shook him. No, what haunted him was what was left behind. Nestled on the seat, twisted, gnarled, and wrong, was what many believe to be a briar root, or as some call it, a witch's briar. One comment reads, "You must have offended the wrong person." Another, "That's an Appalachian parking ticket." But the theories only get darker. Some warn it's an omen, used in folk magic to summon misfortune, even death. One user asked, "Why would you touch that?" While another simply said, "They've cursed you." And here's the eerie part. The creator didn't throw it away. He kept it on a shelf in his room, as if this root, this offering, this warning, was waiting for something, or someone. Some called it a blessing. Others said, "You need to consult a root worker, this is just the beginning."
You see, in Appalachian folklore, briar roots aren't just plants, they're powerful symbols. They can be used in spells for protection, or to curse. And the way this one was placed, almost like a warning, he didn't need anyone to tell him which it was. This wasn't just vandalism. This felt personal, supernatural, like someone had marked him. While visiting the cliffs of Moher in Ireland last November, a Reddit user snapped a series of scenic photos on a cold, windy day. The skies were clear enough to capture distant tourists bundled in thick jackets and woolly beanies, typical winter snapshots. But when she looked back through her pictures later, something didn't add up. In one photo, everything appeared normal. But in the next frame, a strange figure had suddenly appeared, with tall, unnaturally thin legs, and what looked like an odd-shaped hat. It wasn't like any person she'd seen there, and she swore it wasn't in front of her when she took the photo. Even more unsettling? A few shots later, a second figure showed up, this one standing motionless at the top of a nearby staircase. Everyone else in the shot looked completely normal, dressed appropriately for the icy wind. But this thing, it was different. Office wrong. She shared the images on Reddit, hoping for answers. Some suggested it was a trick of the light or a glitch in the camera, but others weren't so sure. After all, she hadn't seen anything strange in person, only the camera had. And somehow, that makes it even creepier. While exploring an abandoned hotel tucked deep in the shadowy Shenandoah Mountains, a group of adventurers made a chilling discovery. Behind the crumbling property, they stumbled upon an old, weather-beaten shed, out of place, yet eerily intact. Inside, the walls were plastered with missing person posters, faded newspapers, and mugshots of local arrests, each one pinned with disturbing precision. Even more unsettling, bed sheets had been nailed across the interior walls, as if someone had tried to muffle sound or hide something sinister. Next to the shed sat a sealed barrel, weighed down with a concrete block. At first glance, it screamed danger, but when opened, it revealed only a red liquid, possibly transmission fluid or some unknown chemical. Still, the scene felt more like the lair of a serial killer than an innocent storage shack. To this day, no one knows who was behind it, or why it was ever built. It was late at night when a man riding his motorbike slammed on the brakes. There, right in the middle of an empty road, stood a woman. Alone, silent, still. She didn't call out, didn't signal for help. She just started walking, slowly and eerily, straight down the center of the road. The entire area was dead quiet, deserted. Curious but uneasy, he crept forward. And then, without any warning, she suddenly turned and ran. But why? What was she doing there in the first place? If she were just an ordinary woman, something wasn't right. But if she wasn't, then what did he witness that night? While walking alone on a quiet forest road, a Reddit user stumbled upon something unsettling. Several unopened IV fluid bags were scattered near the sidewalk under a lone streetlight. There were no hospitals nearby, no ambulances, no signs of medical personnel, just sterile medical supplies lying abandoned in the middle of nowhere. It wasn't just random litter either. Commenters quickly pieced the story together. The fluids were likely part of a home delivery for a ventilator patient. The leading theory? A package thief, often called a porch pirate, stole the shipment, hoping for something valuable, only to toss it once they realized it couldn't be resold. A chilling reminder that one careless act of theft could put someone's life at serious risk. A man set up a trail camera deep in the woods on his property, expecting to catch footage of deer or maybe a bear. But what he captured instead was anything but ordinary. The footage showed a group of armed soldiers creeping through the forest, weapons ready, eyes scanning every shadow like they were hunting something or someone. Why were they there? Was it a covert military exercise, a high-stakes manhunt, or something far more mysterious? To this day, no one has the answers. Late one night, a security guard was monitoring the CCTV of a massive isolated warehouse when something chilling caught his eye. A lone woman in white, silently drifting across the loading dock. The facility was on total lockdown. No staff, no visitors. There's no reason for anyone to be there. Shaken, the guard rushed outside to investigate, but the lot was empty, silent, not a soul in sight. Some say it was just a trespasser in a dress. Others insist it was something far more unsettling, a ghost caught on camera. Whatever the truth is, one thing's for sure. She was there when no one else should have been. Last month, dazzling fireballs streaked across the skies of the southeastern United States. But in Williamston, South Carolina, things got a lot more personal for one man. M.D. Murphy stepped outside his home and froze. Right there in his driveway was a gaping hole, about 3 feet wide, and something had clearly slammed into the ground with serious force.
The hole is about 2 foot in diameter. And that's the hole in my driveway. I don't know.
Whatever it was had punched straight through like a missile, leaving behind a trail of destruction and a mystery. At first, Murphy didn't dare get too close. Was it radioactive? Was it even safe? Fortunately, no one was hurt. But the bizarre impact left one burning question. What exactly came crashing down from the sky? A group of friends went camping deep in the woods, filming their trip like any ordinary adventure. The night was filled with laughter and the crackle of the bonfire. But when they later reviewed the footage, something chilling stood out. As the camera panned across the group, a shadowy figure suddenly flickered into view, just for a second, gliding past the fire before melting into the darkness. No one had seen it in person. No one reacted. Some viewers brushed it off as a trick of the lens, but others are convinced they captured something far more disturbing. What do you see? It was just after 11 p.m. when a motion alert lit up a family's phone. Their indoor security camera had picked up strange movement, considering they were miles away on vacation. Curious, they opened the footage, and what they saw chilled them to the bone. A small child was quietly wandering through their yard, limping past the living room window. The child clutched their lower back like they were in pain. But here's the truly disturbing part. The house is isolated, hidden deep in the woods, with no neighbors for miles and no easy access from the main road. Desperate for answers, the homeowners scoured the local news for reports of a missing child, but there was nothing. No alerts, no investigations, no explanations. To this day, no one knows who that child was, or how they ended up in that remote backyard. While out walking his dog through a quiet patch of forest, a man stumbled upon something deeply unsettling. In a small clearing sat an inverted pentagram, perfectly centered and surrounded by seashells, red and white candles, and carefully placed bones, all arranged with chilling precision. It wasn't some haphazard mess. Whoever created it had taken their time. Was it a ritual site? A twisted art installation? Or just someone's idea of a sick joke? No one knows. The forest felt unnaturally still, as if holding its breath. And when he returned days later, the entire shrine had vanished, without a trace. When the Curson Dam burst, the devastation wasn't limited to the raging floods. It revealed something far more chilling. As the floodwaters receded and the reservoir dried, human skulls began to surface from the cracked earth. These weren't recent casualties. They were remnants of the harrowing World War II Battle of Dnipro, buried deep beneath layers of silt and silence for decades. Now exposed to the light, they told a haunting story long forgotten until now. After a peaceful night of camping, a man was packing up and getting ready to hit the trail again. As he reached down to slip on his hiking shoe, something caught his eye, just in time. Nestled deep inside was a snake, curled up like it owned the place. Turns out, it was a non-venomous juvenile rat snake.
இதான் இருக்கும் அது சுருண்டு படுத்துட்டு இருக்குது
நீங்க பாரு அன்னைக்கு வந்தது இவ்வளவு பெருசா இதை விட பெருசுங்க அன்னைக்கு வந்தது இப்போ பார்த்ததானே இந்த மாதிரி தான் இருக்கு
The man stayed calm, treating it like no big deal. But imagine if he hadn't looked first. That surprise could have been a whole different story. While hiking back from Shoe Lake Bothy, just 4 miles from Lochinver, under a crisp, crystal-clear morning sky, a seasoned hiker paused to snap a photo of the breathtaking, isolated landscape. But later, while reviewing the image, something odd caught his eye. Something off. He was 99% certain no one else had been on the trail. With that level of visibility, there's no way someone could have been missed. And yet, what appeared in the photo still defies explanation. He can't figure it out to this day. A group of women headed out to a remote lake for a birthday getaway. Just them, no kids, no distractions. That night, they gathered around the fire and snapped a group photo to capture the memory. But when they looked at the picture later, something chilling caught their eye. Nestled between the group, right beside a blonde woman in camo leggings, was the unmistakable face of a child. The only problem? No one brought a child. No one knew the child. And here's where it gets creepier. The image was a live photo sent through iMessage, meaning it included a brief motion clip. That's not easy to fake. So the question remains, who or what was with them that night in the woods? A hotel security manager in Illinois stumbled upon something truly chilling, and it all started with complaints about blood-curdling screams echoing from room 209. Here's the thing, no one was checked into that room. Worried, the manager radioed in.
And there's reports of screaming coming from that room. Amy, he's on his way down there right now. What's going on, John? There's no one checked into that room. There should be nobody in there. Wait 1 second, John. Amy, are you there?
That room is empty. Despite that, the screams persisted. The security officer, John, made his way down to investigate, and that's when things got weird.
Correct. John, just wait.
Dispatch urged him to wait for the police, but curiosity got the best of him. John opened the door, and what he found was straight out of a horror movie.
I'm gonna enter the room real quick just to check, make sure, see what's going on. Wait one. John? John, are you there? Okay, Amy, John wants you to call the police right now if you don't mind. He says no one's in there, but that all of the furniture's been turned upside down and the hold on. He says the carpet's been ripped up and that the shower is on, but nobody's in there. Man, that's scary.
The room was a disaster zone. Furniture was flipped over. The carpet was ripped from the floor. The shower is running at full blast, but not a single soul inside. Even creepier? As he stepped in, a ghostly white shadow was caught on camera slipping out of the room. Some viewers swore they only saw one shadow. Others believe there were multiple spirits trapped inside. Though strange noises from room 209 have been reported for years, this remains the only footage ever captured. Evidence that something unexplainable may truly haunt that room. And to this day, no one knows who or what was screaming. A call came in about a disturbance at a newly constructed house. When the officer arrived, he quickly realized the homeowners weren't there. He did a full sweep of the property, room by room, corner by corner, but found nothing. It was empty, or so he thought. Still, something felt off. Trusting his gut, he headed back to his patrol car. But then he saw it, right there.
And now they're gone. Tell me how nuts. And now they're back. You see it?
Someone was standing in the window, watching. At least he thought so. Was it just a trick of the light? A ghost? Or was someone hiding, just well enough to avoid being caught? One thing's for sure. Whatever it was, it didn't want to be found, and we may never know the truth. In the quiet food court of a closed mall, a security officer experienced something chilling during his nightly rounds. He reported hearing soft sobs echoing through the empty dining area. When he investigated, he found a little girl sitting alone, crying, scared, and strangely out of place. She told him she was looking for her mother. The odd part, she seemed only to acknowledge him. After a few minutes of gentle conversation, the officer left to alert his team. But when he returned, she had vanished, and his colleagues insisted there had been no one else in the area the entire night. So, who or what did he see? While working the night shift, this security guard experienced something truly bizarre, and it was all caught on camera. Was it a ghost, a glitch, or something else entirely? To this day, the guard has no explanation. But one thing's for sure, he knows what he saw. Two officers were out investigating in the dead of night after a passerby reported seeing something strange lurking near the roadside. As they scanned the darkness, they suddenly came face to face with something terrifying. A wave of fear hit them so hard, they instinctively backed away without a second thought. But when they returned to the same spot later to investigate further, whatever they saw was completely gone, vanished without a trace. One night in Argentina, two security officers were combing through surveillance footage, trying to uncover clues about a chilling incident from the night before. For a while, everything looked normal, until something strange appeared on the screen.
Okay.
A mysterious figure emerged, calmly smoking, but the flames from her cigarette were far too large to be natural. Before they could make sense of it, the woman suddenly vanished, without a single trace. The officers were left stunned, their skin crawling. What did they just witness? And what happened that eerie night? On the night of November 22nd, 2022, police were dispatched to a house long rumored to be haunted. After confirming that no one was inside, they instructed the homeowner to remain outside while they conducted a thorough search. But as they moved through the dark, creaking halls, things quickly took a chilling turn.
Anyone inside?
Moments after entering, a door slammed shut behind them. Startling, but possibly just the wind. Or so they thought. Then came the eerie noises.
Police! Anyone inside, make yourself known.
As they made their way upstairs, one officer reported a heavy, unsettling presence, despite being completely alone. Downstairs had already been cleared. His breathing quickened. Panic began to set in. The search turned up nothing unusual. No intruders, no signs of forced entry, but the feeling of being watched lingered. As the officers exited the house, a haunting truth remained. Whatever was in there didn't want to be found. On July 8, 2023, chilling body cam footage surfaced, revealing what might be one of the eeriest police encounters ever recorded. An officer was responding to a routine noise complaint at an abandoned property known only as Site 422. What started as a standard sweep quickly spiraled into something straight out of a horror film. His body cam captured unexplained movement inside the house. Then, clear as day, a shadowy figure appeared in one of the windows. Moments later, strange and unsettling sounds echoed through the area.
I keep seeing shadows walking by. What the f***?
To this day, it's unclear whether he pressed forward or got out while he still could. One thing's for sure, Site 422 isn't just abandoned, it's hiding something. This eerie footage was captured by a CCTV camera inside the parking garage of a police station in Ecuador, and yes, it was officially released by the Ecuadorian police themselves. The video begins innocently enough. A security guard pulls in, parks his car, locks it, and walks off to start his shift. But then, something strange happens. The car suddenly begins to roll forward, on its own. No keys in the ignition. No one is behind the wheel. Just an empty car moving by itself. The creepy incident has sparked a wave of stories from officers who've experienced unsettling moments in that same garage. So now the big question is this just a mechanical glitch, or is the garage haunted? Reddit user Brass Ninja was doing a routine security check at a property that now serves as an office for a real estate firm. Locals have long whispered that the building is haunted, and what she caught on camera might finally prove them right. The audio's faint, so you'll want to crank up the volume.
What the fuck? Okay, it straight up sounds like there's somebody fucking upstairs. And there's nobody here.
While inspecting the basement, she noticed something odd. A light was on that shouldn't have been, but as she moved in to switch it off, things took a chilling turn. It sounds exactly like someone is walking around upstairs. Heavy footsteps, furniture scraping across the floor. The only problem? She was completely alone. She had already cleared the building, top to bottom. Not a single soul in sight. Even creepier, she's not the only one who's felt something off. Several co-workers have had their unsettling encounters in that very office. So now the question is, what's going on in that building? A woman walked into a police station in Trstenik, Serbia, visibly shaken. She claimed that something had been following her on her way to the town fair, not on foot, but leaping from one streetlight to another. Officers listened, puzzled by the strange report. After filing her complaint, the woman left, leaving behind more questions than answers. But what happened next stunned them all. Later that evening, one officer caught a glimpse of something strange in the shadows above.
Koliko pratka? Evo. Lepo na ovome.
Evo uđe dežurno.
Evo, ti je lakše, mislim. Mene Nikola napravio ispravo.
Nije u dežurnu, dole ode.
Dole ode.
Trojku kod mene.
Uvatio ga. Nikola je toliko dobar da... Gledaj sad, evo ti, gledaj sad.
Izađe kao iz zida.
I sad u dežurno uđe.
To mi žena jedna tako pričala da nju pratila.
Alarmed, he called over his colleagues. As they stared in disbelief, they realized this might be exactly what the woman had warned them about. But when they moved in for a closer look, whatever it was had vanished. On May 17th, 2006, something truly bizarre was captured on camera, soaring above the mountains of Mexico. The eerie footage revealed a strange figure that seemed to be wearing a cape, prompting some to claim they had just witnessed a witch in flight. The plot thickened when two police officers stepped forward, saying they had seen the same mysterious figure that very day. As the video made its rounds, believers were convinced it was a supernatural encounter, but skeptics were quick to dismiss it, chalking it up to nothing more than a bunch of balloons floating in the sky. Yet, for those who saw it with their own eyes, it was anything but ordinary. A few months back, something strange happened at a local bar, something no one could explain. In the dead of night, every single security alarm went off at once.
Dude, I'm so happy I saw that.
The person reviewing the footage was stunned. On playback, every camera glitched at the same moment, as if something invisible had triggered them all. But when they checked the footage from outside, no one was there, not a soul. The system automatically called the police. But here's the creepy part. Can it be called a glitch if every camera freaked out at the same time? The guy reviewing the footage had only been working there for 3 months. His co-workers always joked that the bar was haunted, something he laughed off, until he found out the chilling truth behind those rumors. During his routine patrol, a security guard came to a sudden halt in one of the aisles. Surveillance footage showed him standing alone, speaking softly, and gesturing as if comforting someone. Later, he claimed he saw a little girl crying, and he was trying to calm her down, telling her to wait for her mother. But when the entire market was searched from top to bottom, there was no sign of any child. So, who or what did he see that night? Imagine arriving at a peaceful cabin in the woods, ready to unwind for a quiet weekend, only to have your heart nearly stop. Out of the trees emerges someone in a chilling clown costume, creeping toward you like a scene ripped straight from a horror film. Panic sets in, until you discover it's not some deranged stranger, but the owner of the cabin. Suddenly, the fear turns into a whole new kind of unease. Is that more comforting, or somehow even creepier? Knowing the owner casually strolls the woods dressed like that, would you still stay the night? Two wild campers set off into the heart of the Welsh wilderness, eager for an adventure in a remote, abandoned building, a place rumored to be haunted. After clearing out the cobwebs and tidying up the space, they began exploring its eerie corners, trying to shake off the unsettling atmosphere while casually chatting about the mysterious history of the place. But then, something happened.
Oh, it's absolutely gorgeous, isn't it? That'd be mental.
Well stoked.
Yeah, it certainly is.
What was that?
Suddenly, a sound pierced the silence. They tried to carry on as if nothing had happened, But the strange noises continued, growing more intense.
It's all right.
No, there's my torch.
Right, let me get out there. Definitely. What the hell is that noise?
The air felt heavier, and a chill set in. Despite the growing unease, they decided to investigate, stepping into the darkness armed only with their torches. As they ventured outside, the eerie noises became louder, unnerving them even more.
No one here.
Bloody hell. What the freaking hell was that noise? Oh man, oh dude.
That presumes it's a secret key button.
They returned downstairs, their nerves on edge. And that's when they noticed something that made their blood run cold, something they hadn't seen before. But before they could process what was happening, they both froze. Hanging in the doorway was something they couldn't explain. Still, despite the overwhelming fear, they pushed forward. But things were far from over. As the night stretched on, it only grew darker. The unsettling noises and chilling presence seemed relentless, and yet they made it through the night, though their minds would never quite let go of the haunting mystery of what exactly lurked in that remote building. What was the true story behind the strange happenings they witnessed? Was it just the wind, or something far more sinister? After settling into their new home deep in the woods, a couple couldn't shake the eerie feeling that they were being watched. To ease their minds, they set up a camera in their bedroom. But what they captured days later was chilling. A man standing just outside their window, fully illuminated by the parking lot lights, staring in like he belonged there. He didn't flinch, didn't move, just watched. The boyfriend went outside to confront him, but the man simply turned and walked away without a word. The next day, he showed up at their door with a strange calmness and apologized, but offered no real explanation. So, what do you even do when the person creeping around your window turns out to be your neighbor? A family booked what they thought was a quiet, peaceful Airbnb getaway. But as they settled in and walked through the living room, something immediately felt off. They spotted a strange, sealed window that looked into what appeared to be an underground chamber, completely hidden from the outside. Their curiosity got the better of them. While exploring further, they stumbled upon a trapdoor cleverly hidden beneath the rug in one of the bedrooms. It creaked open to reveal a pitch-black tunnel leading deep below the house. The walls were smeared with what looked disturbingly like dried blood, and halfway down the passage, they found a rusted, ancient-looking mask resting on the ground. As they pressed on, the air grew heavier. Eventually, they entered a dimly lit room, and there, motionless in the corner, stood a single mannequin. No explanation, no context, just watching. They immediately contacted the Airbnb owner, but here's the chilling part. No one ever heard back. No follow-up, no answers, just silence. During a family gathering, Stepanka was casually scrolling through her home's CCTV feed when something chilling caught her eye outside.
And I put it up on my Instagram and I was like, guys, like, what do you think this is? And everybody's like, that's a ghost, that's a ghost. But like, everyone's like, that's a full-on fucking apparition. That is like, that's not a blob. That's not a little light thing. It's a full apparition of a ghost. And I'm just like, right, it is. I'm not fucking crazy.
What she captured was haunting. A figure standing eerily still. Until, within seconds, it morphed into a floating, solid white form. Ghostly and unmistakably out of place. Skeptical but intrigued, Stanka tried everything to recreate the scene under the same lighting and conditions. Nothing worked. To this day, the footage remains unexplained, and so does the ghostly figure that appeared that night. A Reddit user recently shared a spine-chilling experience from a remote cabin in the woods, and it's got people seriously creeped out. For almost a year, strange reddish footprints have been appearing on the garage ceiling. But here's the kicker. They're always from the right foot only, and they never stay in the same place. Every few days, the prints mysteriously vanish or reappear somewhere else. The user isn't the only one who's seen them. Friends have noticed the same eerie pattern. But things got even weirder when they looked at photos. Although all the pictures were taken on the same day, the prints appeared in different spots in each one. So what's going on here? Is someone playing the world's most dedicated prank? Or is this something far more unexplainable? Starry01 recently posted a chilling photo taken at the abandoned Asylum in Fergus Falls, Minnesota, a place already infamous for its ghost stories. At first, the image seemed unremarkable, until they brightened it. That's when a pale, eerie hand appeared in the lower window. Some viewers even claimed they could make out a faint, shadowy figure lurking just behind it. Do you see it? One quiet morning, a homeowner in a remote area caught something chilling on camera, right outside their front door.
What the fuck is outside? What the fuck? Too scared to open my door.
Too afraid to open the door, they stared through the frosted glass. On the other side stood a small, unmoving figure, eerily still, like it was waiting. Even the dog sensed the danger, barking wildly at whatever was out there. But then, it didn't walk away. It didn't run. It simply disappeared, fading into thin air. Some think it was just a wild animal. Others aren't so sure. Whatever it was, it left behind more questions than answers. And one terrified homeowner. Cody had lived on his property for 22 years when he discovered a strange, dead patch of grass that sank under his mower.
It's dead. When I drove over it, it kind of sank. And I came over here with the shovel and tapped on it. Let me get a little closer. It's some kind of door. I've been here 22 years and this has never been here before. So I really don't know what to think about it. But
Curious, he dug into it and found a hidden door leading to a deep water-filled hole, possibly an old well or storm cellar. Using a 15-foot conduit stick, he couldn't touch the bottom. That night, strange noises came from beneath his house. When he investigated with a camera, what he recorded was not just eerie, it was terrifying. A group of friends had rented a remote cabin deep in the Appalachian mountains for a peaceful weekend getaway. Surrounded by endless shadowy woods, the spot felt like a perfect escape. One night, as they soaked in the hot tub beneath a glowing moon, a low, thunderous sound echoed from somewhere deep in the forest.
Yeah, that was a car, that was a car.
Shit. Who's the aliens, bro?
I
That's a train. I think it's a train.
Es que porque suena así a la verga.
But that's just scary. Okay, do you guys want to go inside?
No. Es que dicen que no va a pasar nada, pero...
I'm recording this shit, bro.
But the music and laughter quickly faded into nervous silence. Something about that sound wasn't right. Unbeknownst to them, the Appalachian woods have a long, chilling history. Mysterious vanishings, strange figures spotted between the trees, stories that locals don't like to tell after dark. Thankfully, the group left the hot tub and returned inside without incident. But that night, it still haunts their memories. A man set out to explore a series of cabins deep in the woods, rumored to be abandoned. Everything was quiet, almost too quiet, until something shifted behind one of the upper windows.
Yo. You see movement then? Yeah. Move the light. Yo.
Fuck is that? Yo.
At first glance, there was nothing. But as their flashlights moved away, a pale figure briefly peeked out from behind a curtain. At first, he brushed it off, thinking it was just a squatter. But later, when he reviewed the footage, chills ran down his spine. The figure had no face. Its skin was unnaturally pale, like it hadn't seen sunlight in years. That was all he needed to see. He didn't wait around for a second encounter. Whatever was inside that cabin wasn't human. A Reddit user recently shared a seemingly innocent Polaroid photo snapped by his son, a casual moment captured of him and his wife during a weekend getaway years ago. But when the image finished developing, something unsettling caught their eye. In the window behind them, a blurry shape appeared, and it looked eerily like a face staring straight in. Some dismissed it as pareidolia, our brains trying to find familiar patterns in chaos. Others were convinced it could have been a person, or maybe even an animal. The majority chalked it up to a dirty window reflecting the flash just right. Still, no matter how many logical explanations were thrown around, that face in the window left a chill that no one could quite shake. This man was out of town when he got a Ring camera alert from his remote cabin, and what he saw was chilling. The footage captured a mysterious figure aimlessly roaming through his backyard. But it wasn't just the presence of the disturbing person, it was the way they moved. Slow, erratic, almost like they were lost or hunting. The homeowner noted that the area has a history of drug activity, which might explain the behavior, but that only makes it more unsettling. Imagine someone like that lurking around your property when you're not there to stop them. This eerie video, reportedly filmed in an abandoned hospital in Honduras, recently resurfaced on Reddit, reigniting a chilling mystery that's haunted the internet for years. According to locals, the room in question was once an emergency operating room, and some believe it's now haunted by the spirit of a surgeon who died there, either from a sudden heart attack or, as some whisper, by his hand. The footage has sparked heated debate. Is it a ghost, clever CGI, or just someone messing around? Whatever the explanation, even the skeptics agree. There's something deeply unsettling about the way it moves. While checking his cabin's attic for damage after a recent hurricane, he snapped a quick photo. Just a routine inspection. At the time, everything looked fine. No leaks, no holes. But months later, while casually scrolling through those old photos with his girlfriend, they noticed something chilling. A dark, shadowy figure with glowing eyes staring back at them from the attic. He swore he'd never heard any strange noises up there. No rustling, no scratching, nothing that would suggest raccoons or other animals. So what was it? A trick of the light? A small, unseen creature? Or something far more unsettling, a warning to get out while he still could. This eerie security camera footage, taken at a secluded home late at night, shows something truly bizarre. A faint, transparent figure drifts across the property, almost like a ghostly presence caught on tape. There's no backstory, no follow-up, and no clear explanation. Was it just a reflection? A camera malfunction? Or did something from the other side slip through unnoticed? The mystery lingers. While hiking through the remote wilderness of Norway, a man stumbled upon something chilling. An old, abandoned house hidden deep in the forest. Curious, he stepped inside and was shocked to find the place still had electricity. As he ventured deeper into the dark, eerie rooms, things took a terrifying turn. Out of nowhere, a strange, shadowy creature locked eyes with him. Frozen in fear, the man panicked, lost his footing, and tumbled down the stairs. The footage cuts off suddenly, leaving behind an unsettling mystery. Was it something paranormal, or is there a more logical explanation? While browsing through old photos from a nighttime trip to an abandoned building, a Reddit user stumbled upon something truly chilling. One eerie shot captured a decaying room in disarray, with a single window at its center. But when he looked closer, his blood ran cold, and a ghostly face was faintly visible in the glass, staring straight at the camera. The user swore he was completely alone that night. Some viewers were haunted by the sinister grin on the figure's face, while skeptics brushed it off as pareidolia. Still, the face looks far too real to be a trick of the mind. A woman was walking home late one night when she decided to rest on a bench for just a moment. But within 2 minutes, her peaceful pause turned chilling.
Настя, я боюсь. Настя, я боюсь. Там видно? Посмотри, там видно? Слышишь ты, сука? Я сейчас тебя так пиздану, ты охуеешь.
Out of the corner of her eye, she spotted something or someone. A masked figure, barely visible, lurks silently behind a tree. The camera trembled as fear took hold. She wanted to run, but her body wouldn't move. Was this just a twisted prank, or something far more sinister? One thing was certain: if she hadn't seen him when she did, this story might have had a very different ending. While hiking deep into a remote forest trail, this person stumbled upon something that sent chills down their spine. Hidden between the thick branches and old moss-covered bark was a face carved into the trunk of a tree. It wasn't just some rough sketch either. The expression was haunting, almost too human, as if it were watching. This person stood frozen. Why would someone do that? Was it a warning? A ritual? Or maybe someone or something wanted to be remembered. Whatever the reason, the deeper you look into that carved face, the more it feels like the forest is looking back at you. 3 years ago, someone was jolted from their evening routine by a blood-curdling scream outside their home. It wasn't just a sound, it was a raw, chilling cry that echoed from deep within the woods, right near a steep drop overlooking the highway, with a cemetery eerily close by. It sounded like a woman, terrified and desperate. But then again, maybe it was just some wild animal, right? Unnerved, they recorded the moment and called the police, even sent in the footage. But nothing came of it. No follow-up, no missing person reports, no answers. And yet, that scream, it never left them. They never heard it again, before or since. Wildlife doesn't cry like that. At least it shouldn't. In June 2025, near Enderland, North Dakota, a local caught jaw-dropping footage of the sky turning into a giant, swirling mesocyclone, just moments away from forming a full-blown tornado.
Oh my god.
The cloud formation crept across the sky like a living, breathing beast, immense, hauntingly beautiful, and downright terrifying. It moved slowly, but its power was undeniable. Honestly, it's the kind of thing you film once from a safe distance and then run. While hiking near the railroad tracks in Mission Park, San Antonio, a man snapped a quick photo, but what he saw later left him speechless. When he reviewed the image, two mysterious figures appeared in the distance, standing eerily still. Locals have long whispered tales of ghostly children who push stalled cars off the tracks, but this was something entirely different. Confused and unsettled, unsure if he'd captured a trick of the light or something truly supernatural, he posted the photo online, and the internet hasn't stopped talking about it since. 6 years ago, a Reddit user ventured deep into the countryside to explore an old, crumbling farmhouse, one that locals whispered about with unease. They said the owner had died inside nearly 30 years earlier, and judging by the state of the place, time hadn't been kind. The floors were collapsing, and the stairs to both the basement and upper level had completely vanished. Nature had swallowed the house. Thick trees and tangled bushes made just reaching a door feel like navigating a jungle. Still, he found a narrow opening and slipped inside, thinking he was alone. He wasn't. Inside, every window was boarded up, and the main door was sealed tight. Then, echoing through the empty shell of the house, came a voice.
Looks like all the windows have been boarded up, especially the door out. You've got to be fucking shitting me.
He'd explored countless abandoned places before, but this one felt different, wrong. He couldn't shake the feeling that something else was there, watching. A bizarre video has been circulating lately, leaving viewers stunned. In it, a glowing orange orb shoots out from the edge of a forest, hovers for just a moment, then streaks toward a parked car and explodes on impact. The blast is intense, almost too real. Naturally, theories are flying. Some insist it's ball lightning, that rare and unpredictable weather event known to flicker, float, and sometimes violently detonate during storms. But here's the strange part. The orb didn't just drift, it targeted the car with eerie precision. That's why others believe we may have just witnessed a test run of advanced secret technology, possibly even a directed energy weapon. Is it natural, man-made, or something else entirely? No one knows for sure. Lucas and his friend Gavin were hiking through the quiet woods of rural Pennsylvania when an overpowering stench suddenly filled the air. Expecting to stumble upon a decaying animal, Lucas instinctively pulled out his phone. Peering through the dense trees, Lucas spotted a massive, crouched figure. It had the shape of an ape, but the unsettling movements of a man. Heart pounding, he snapped a photo and hit record just as the creature stood and disappeared deeper into the forest. Neither of them could speak. Frozen with fear, they knew they had just seen something unexplainable. To this day, Lucas is certain of one thing. Whatever it wasn't human. While hiking in the forest, this person and their family noticed something strange. This person kept hearing twigs snap behind them. At first, they thought it was just the wind, until this person turned around and spotted a massive bear slowly stalking them from a distance. The bear wasn't charging or growling, it was just silently following, step by step, shadowing their every move through the dense trees. As tension rose, this person tried to stay calm, urging the family to keep moving without running. The bear kept closing the gap, clearly curious or sizing them up. It felt like something straight out of a horror movie, except this was real. But after what felt like forever, the bear finally lost interest and wandered off into the woods, leaving this person and their family completely shaken, but thankfully unharmed. Around June 14, 2025, in Bridgeport, West Virginia, two men stumbled upon something in the sky that left them speechless.
I look like it. Hey, what is that, bro? Dude, I don't know about a cell phone tower, Monk. Monk? I don't think it's a cell phone tower, bro. Dude, I have never in my life seen anything do what it's doing. Wait, you should come look at my phone. I can't stop this. I've never seen any cell phone tower do what this is doing. You sure, bro? That is a spaceship. Wait till you see this shit. Because if that's a cell, then where's the other one at? No, the cell phone towers are over there on that side, down to that end. Yeah, those are cell phone towers. What the fuck is that?
He held up his phone, recording the bizarre structure seemingly hovering in place. What they captured has sparked wild speculation. Was it just a cleverly designed drone? Or did they accidentally record a real UFO that night, something truly out of this world? While camping in Texas, a family decided to check out a nearby haunted house, one that already had a dark reputation after someone reportedly died there years ago. Sitting safely in their car, they watched the eerie, abandoned structure. But then, something chilling happened. They caught this on camera.
It's gonna go in your house. The OS paranormal activity is gonna do so. It's fake. But it can't come in our house. Whoa!
Out of nowhere, what appears to be a small hand reaches out from the window. Locals say ghostly figures of children are often seen peering from the windows and lurking near the doors of this house, fueling the belief that it's truly haunted. While a man was carefully cutting through the base of a massive tree with a chainsaw, everything seemed routine until the final slice brought the trunk crashing down. And then came the shock.
Watch out, Zach. It's going to spin over.
There's the doggy.
Come on.
How was that ride?
That's a first. So, Dad, I didn't get the squirrel.
What happened to the squirrel, baby?
The squirrel got away.
As the dust settled and the tree hit the ground, out popped something no one expected. A dog. That's right. A dog came trotting out from inside the hollow trunk like it had just ridden a roller coaster. It turns out the dog had chased a squirrel and somehow climbed into a hidden cavity high up in the tree. By some miracle, it survived the whole ordeal without a scratch. Still, the dog? Fine. Just a little confused and probably ready to try again. Back in 2017, a cyclist was documenting his ride through a thick, shadowy forest when he stumbled upon something straight out of a nightmare. Standing dead center in the trail was a clown, completely still, silently staring into the void. At first, the cyclist was intrigued, maybe even tempted to ride closer, thinking it was just some kind of prop or abandoned doll. But as he inched forward, a chilling feeling crept in. Something was off, very off. Without hesitation, he turned around and got out of there. I mean, who in their right mind stands motionless in the middle of the woods in a clown suit, staring into nothing? On June 14th, something bizarre unfolded at Pacific City Beach in Oregon. A witness reported seeing a massive drone flying unusually low over the ocean, far larger than your average drone, and carrying something even stranger, a huge, unidentified object dangling beneath it. Then, in one swift move, the drone dropped the object into the water and vanished into the sky. The witness snapped a photo, but the object's shape remains a mystery. No limbs, no clear features, yet it was eerily human-sized. Now, the internet is buzzing with speculation. What exactly was so important or so secret that it had to be dropped into the ocean from a drone? On June 9th, 2025, in the quiet deserts of Arizona, a woman set out to record a peaceful sunset. But what her camera captured was far from peaceful or explainable.
Right there.
Hovering in the sky was a bizarre, human-like figure. It wasn't a bird, it wasn't a drone, and it wasn't a trick of the light. While skeptics rushed to call it a glitch or a hoax, something strange happened in the comments. Dozens of people claimed they had seen the same thing. Coincidence? Or something much bigger? While away on vacation, a homeowner casually checked the live feed from his backdoor camera, but then he paused. In one frame, something felt off. There, crouched low and staring directly into the lens, was a dark, shadowy figure. Its posture didn't look human or animal, and the eyes? They glowed in a way that sent chills down his spine. Some quickly dismissed it as a stray dog caught at the perfect angle, but others? They aren't so sure. Was it just a dog, or did something else wander into that yard? While hiking through the misty trails of the Pacific Northwest, a Reddit user caught sight of something moving in the woods. His jaw dropped. Standing upright, covered in black fur, was a massive ape-like figure, unlike anything native to the area. It didn't match any known animal, but it did bear an eerie resemblance to a legendary creature whispered about for generations. Could this be the moment someone finally captured Bigfoot on camera? While fishing in Brazil, a group of fishermen came across something truly bizarre, something they'd never seen before. At first glance, they assumed it was just some trash, maybe scraps of fabric or floating plastic. But then it moved. One of the fishermen reached in and pulled out one of the strange creatures. What he held looked eerily like a bat, but far more unsettling. So what do you think? Did they discover something real, or is this just another internet hoax? In September 2024, Hurricane Helen made landfall on the East Coast with devastating force. High up in the mountains, Alicia and her family were hunkered down, watching as waters surged downhill behind their home. Alicia grabbed her phone and started filming, but within seconds, everything changed.
Oh, yeah. Get in the house. Oh, yeah. Go, get You try going?
What began as rushing water suddenly morphed into a violent mudslide. Trees snapped like twigs, boulders thundered down the slope, and debris the size of cars barreled straight toward their home. There was no time to run. Miraculously, everyone survived. Though the land around them was wrecked and their yard unrecognizable, the house, battered and bruised, stood its ground. With nothing but grit, determination, and the kindness of volunteers and strangers, Alicia's family began the slow process of rebuilding their lives, one piece of debris at a time. While hiking near the railroad tracks in Mission Park, San Antonio, a man snapped a quick photo, but what he saw later left him speechless. When he reviewed the image, two mysterious figures appeared in the distance, standing eerily still. Locals have long whispered tales of ghostly children who push stalled cars off the tracks, but this was something entirely different. Confused and unsettled, unsure if he'd captured a trick of the light or something truly supernatural, he posted the photo online, and the internet hasn't stopped talking about it since. While camping near a quiet beach, a Reddit user stumbled upon something truly bizarre. A strange white creature floating in the shallow water. It didn't look like anything they'd ever seen before. Some viewers guessed it was just a discarded toy, while others thought it might be a seal or even a severed animal head. A few eagle-eyed commenters suggested it resembled a rare sea creature known as the pufferfish, but to this day, no one has been able to identify it for sure. What began as a beautiful sunlit day at Lake Tahoe took a deadly turn. Within just 10 minutes, a sudden and violent snowstorm engulfed the lake, transforming clear skies into a blinding whiteout. 8 lives were tragically lost that day. But the most chilling part? Guests in Cabin 19 at Cedar Glen Lodge captured the storm on video and spotted something they weren't expecting. Amid the swirling snow, a dark shadow streaked by at an unnaturally fast speed. Was it a spirit caught on camera? Or is there a more logical explanation? You decide. About 10 years ago, a Reddit user shared a seemingly ordinary family trip to a nearby lake. Just a fun day in the sun with the kids. But when they got home and started flipping through the photos, one image stopped them cold. In the picture, a distinct shadow of a hand was visible on their niece's back. The eerie part? No one was standing near her at the time. Even stranger, the angle of the shadow made no sense. If it belonged to a person, more of the arm should have been visible, maybe even part of their body or head. To this day, the family can't explain what they captured in that photo, and the mystery still haunts them. A couple renting a vacation home had no idea their quiet getaway was about to get seriously creepy. One night, just before 9 p.m., they spotted a flickering light coming from the abandoned house next door. Naturally, Curiosity got the better of them.
This is the weird stuff that happens in your backyard, guys. Sunday night. What time is it, Dustin? Almost 9 o'clock. I have this on video. That's your light bulb on the back of your house. No, wait, that might be your motion light.
They hadn't seen a single soul near that rundown house all weekend. No signs of life. Yet the motion light kept flickering on. So the question lingers. What was out there tripping that light? And more importantly, what did they almost see? While away on vacation, a homeowner casually checked the live feed from his backdoor camera. But then he paused. In one frame, something felt off. There, crouched low and staring directly into the lens, was a dark, shadowy figure. Its posture didn't look human or animal, and the eyes? They glowed in a way that sent chills down his spine. Some quickly dismissed it as a stray dog caught at the perfect angle, but others? They aren't so sure. Was it just a dog, or did something else wander into that yard? In 1999, a mother snapped a photo of her young son during what seemed like a quiet afternoon at a nearly empty park in New Jersey. Her son had been unusually distressed that day, crying nonstop for reasons she couldn't explain. She was certain they were alone, but when the film was developed, her heart sank. There, in the background of the photo, stood a tall, human-like figure, long hair draping over its shoulders, and what looked like an object clutched in its hand. The rest of the photo was perfectly ordinary. Yet that figure, it didn't belong. She swears no one was near them. So how could something, or someone, be that close without her ever noticing? Did the camera catch a moment that wasn't meant to be seen, or something far more terrifying? Deep in the heart of a dark, overgrown forest, someone set up a trail camera to catch glimpses of wildlife. But what the footage captured was far from ordinary. In one eerie frame, a woman in a flowing white dress appeared, standing still, staring straight into the lens. Stranger still, she seemed to have antlers growing from her head. Then, just 40 minutes later, she was gone, vanished without a trace. If this happened, it's the stuff of nightmares. But something about the photo feels off. Too cinematic. Too perfect. Maybe it was staged, or maybe we just weren't meant to understand what we saw. Just after midnight, a thunderous knock shattered the silence at a secluded countryside home. The family inside, uneasy from the timing, chose not to respond. The front gate was locked, like always. Wanting answers, they checked their security cameras. But oddly, no one had come to the door. Not once. Shrugging it off as a glitch or maybe a prank, they tried to go back to sleep. That's when their 3 dogs suddenly tensed, growled low, and then bolted toward the back of the house. Seconds later, the dogs came scrambling back, whimpering, frantic, clawing at the door, desperate to get in. Something had scared them. Badly. The homeowner stepped outside, scanning the yard, and that's when he saw it. A tall, shadowy figure, standing completely still at the tree line, unmoving, watching. He quickly unlocked his truck, triggering the lights to illuminate the area. But the figure didn't budge, not even an inch. So the question is, what or who was out there that night? A TikTok user recently shared chilling footage from a remote cabin in Oregon, one her sister had been renovating. But from the very beginning, something about the place felt wrong. Doors creaked open without reason, cold spots lingered in the air, and strange sounds echoed through empty rooms. Then came the moment that left viewers shaken. While sitting in her car just outside the cabin, the sister suddenly heard something unexpected. A landline phone ringing inside the supposedly empty house. Curious and unnerved, she pulled out her phone and started recording. What she captured next defied explanation.
So, there's nothing hanging there. Fucking, what the fuck is that? It's creepy. It's gotta be something. I don't know what. What the fuck? It just fucking, what the fuck? What the
That porch, like that's where the door, okay, that's the door. Right there. It's black. There's nothing in the door. There's nothing in the door right now, anyway. This is the outside of one part of it. Yeah, this place is just, it's insane. Okay, so here's the end. Okay, everything scares me. It's getting dark and I don't like being even right here. Yeah, this is the inside. I mean, just look at like, there's like, the sink is like 1950s. The stove is 1950s something. Yeah, this place is just, so it was a husband and wife who lived here. The husband died, I believe, first. I'm getting out of here. When it's in more daylight, I'll show you the inside better.
What is that? A dark figure glided across the upper balcony. Not a shadow, not a person. It moved too fluidly, too deliberately, like it was alive. Viewers quickly dubbed it a shadow figure. Some claimed it looked like a woman in black, but according to the uploader, no one else was there. The area was remote and the parking was limited. If anyone had shown up, they would have noticed. And she'd been alone all day. Inside, the cabin was frozen in time and just as disturbing. Rotting wood, a 1950s stove, and a sink straight out of a horror film. Old handwritten notes from someone named Emily were still lying around. According to local whispers, a married couple had once lived there. Both had died. The details? Murky at best. One clip shows the infamous doorway, the same one the figure appeared. To this day, no one knows what they saw on that balcony. So now we ask, who or what was watching them from above? One night, a farmer glanced out his window and spotted something unusual moving in the distance. Curious and uneasy, he reviewed the security footage, and what he saw sent a chill down his spine. A lone figure, draped in what looked like a long gown, was slowly gliding across his land. There was no flashlight, no source of light at all, and yet they navigated the pitch-black, uneven terrain with eerie ease, never stumbling, never hesitating. Who or what could move like that in total darkness? And more importantly, why were they there at all? While out on a family trip in Oregon, things took a terrifying turn. Just up ahead, someone suddenly stepped into the road, deliberately blocking their path. Instantly sensing danger, the driver didn't waste a second. They slammed the car into reverse and floored it. Tires screeched as they raced backward, barely escaping what could have been a deadly encounter. One moment of hesitation, and this story might have ended very differently. Thankfully, they got away, shaken, but safe. Jennifer and her friend were at a late-night party on the edge of a quiet Mexican town. As midnight passed, the music faded and their curiosity grew. They couldn't resist testing the old legend, the one locals whispered about for generations. A ghostly woman in white, forever roaming the roads, weeping in the dark. As the night grew quieter, nearby dogs suddenly began barking, restless and wild. Laughing nervously, Jennifer brushed it off until the barking grew louder and sharper, as if warning them. That's when she saw it.
Ay, mira, mira. Ay, no mames. Ay, no. A ver, enfoca. Es que se borra. Mira, lo acerco y se borra, mira. ¿Qué es? Uy, uy. No mames. Ay, no. Ay, no chingues. ¿Dónde? Mira, 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 mira. Mira, 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 mira. Mira. Uy, está gritando. No mames. No chingues. Mira. Se perdió. Es que está oscuro. A ver. Mira, mira, se mira. Sí, sí, sí. Entre los... Pero se...
A pale figure, dressed in white, emerged from the shadows, motionless, haunting. And in the silence they heard it, a faint sound, soft and sorrowful. Someone crying. Was it just a trick of the night? Or had they come face to face with La Llorona? What started as a carefree monthly hike quickly spiraled into something far more chilling. The girls had paused on the trail, snapping photos, sharing laughs, just enjoying the moment for social media. But the mood shifted the second they resumed walking.
My girlfriends and I recently decided to start doing a group hike like once a month, just us girls. We stopped on the trail for about 5 minutes to get some content for social media. We were taking selfies, filming, laughing. We were having a great time, didn't think twice, and started to proceed on our trail. This is when my worst fear happened. As you can see, my girlfriend is filming and I clearly stop in my tracks and notice this man come out of the bush. He looked a little disoriented. He was not a hiker. He was in jeans, no water, no backpack. He has his hands in his pockets. I immediately think of the Lakeland Riley case and I go into fight or flight. At this moment, my girlfriend stopped filming. You guys, I normally pack, and this day I decided not to, thinking I was safe with my 2 other girlfriends. Immediately, I get that gut feeling as he's approaching us, and I start talking about how my girlfriend's husband is behind us and how there are men waiting for us, and immediately I take a 180 on the trail. As soon as I turn around, I see another man come out of the bush behind us. We continued talking about the men that were waiting for us, and calmly but quickly made it back to the car. We were followed by the hoodie guy, but we did make it back safely, thank Jesus.
A man stood ahead on the path. He wasn't dressed like a hiker, and something about him felt wrong. Before they could make sense of it, another man stepped out from the trees behind them. No words were exchanged, just instinct. They bolted back to their car, hearts pounding, breath short, but safe. Still, one haunting thought lingered. What if they hadn't run? A family was hiking along a rugged trail in the Teton Range when nature turned on them in an instant.
Ow! Look at this hail! Oh my gosh, it's so huge! Ow! Ow!
Without warning, the sky went dark, and a violent hailstorm exploded overhead. Chunks of ice pelted down like bullets, forcing the family to sprint for cover, but there was none in sight. Panic set in as the storm raged, each second feeling longer than the last. Thankfully, the hail passed as quickly as it came, and miraculously, everyone made it out unharmed. She was unwinding in her room, the house silent in the dead of night, until a strange sound echoed from the far side of the house. At first, she brushed it off. Probably her husband, right? But then it hit her. He wasn't even home tonight. The noise came again, louder this time, and closer. That's when the fear set in.
It's the middle of the night. Does anybody else have a problem when they wear these at night? Like, they don't stay on? Baby? She's not even home. Okay. Did y'all hear that? See what I mean? Can't even.
She wasn't alone. To this day, no one knows if it was an animal, an intruder, or something far more unsettling. The mystery remains. If you liked that video, make sure to check out the Dare to Watch YouTube channel, where we have tons of videos just like this. And if you want to see our latest scary hiking encounters, make sure to click subscribe so you'll get notifications.